All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says construction of Ram Temple opens up several opportunities across sectors which will change the economy of the region. Recovery rate of COVID-19 patients improves from 63 to 67% in 2 weeks. More than 10,59,000 people benefited from Vande Bharat mission, says Civil Aviation Minister. Manoj Sinha appointed as new Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir following resignation of G.C. Murmu. Normal life disrupted in Mumbai and its surrounding areas due to heavy rainfall. Prime Minister assures all possible help to Maharashtra and counting of votes for parliamentary elections in Sri Lanka begins. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the Ram Temple in Ayodhya will become a modern symbol of India's traditions. He said that Ram Mandir will symbolize the power of collective resolution of crores of people, which will keep inspiring the future generations. The Prime Minister was addressing the gathering at Ram Janmabhoomi in Ayodhya yesterday. He performed Bhumi Pujan and laid the foundation stone of the grand Ram Temple.
राम मंदिर के लिए कई सदियों तक कई पीढ़ियों ने अखंड अविरत एक निष्ठ प्रयास किया। आज का ये दिन उसी तप, त्याग और संकल्प का प्रतीक है। राम मंदिर के लिए चले आंदोलन में अर्पण भी था, तर्पण भी था, संघर्ष भी था, संकल्प भी था। जिनके त्याग, बलिदान और संघर्ष से आज ये स्वप्न साकार हो रहा है.
With yesterday's ceremony, the construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya has started. The Prime Minister said that construction of the Ram Temple marks a new chapter in India's history.
आज पूरा भारत भावुक है. सदियों का इंतजार आज समाप्त हो रहा है. करोड़ों लोगों को आज ये विश्वास ही नहीं हो रहा होगा कि वो अपने जीते जी इस पावन दिन को देख पा रहे हैं. बरसों से टाट और टेंट के नीचे रहे हमारे रामलला के लिए अब एक भव्य मंदिर का निर्माण होगा.
Recounting the different Ramayans written in various languages, the Prime Minister noted that Sri Ram is the common thread of unity and diversity in the country. He said that Lord Ram is a symbol of strength and unity for all religions, irrespective of religion. During his historic address at Ayodhya, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that it is an emotional moment for the entire country. He said the construction of Ram Temple will also pave way for the development of Ayodhya and open up several opportunities across sectors, which will change the economy of the region.
प्रभु श्री राम ने हमें कर्तव्य पालन की सीख दी है. अपने कर्तव्यों को कैसे निभाएं इसकी सीख दी है. उन्होंने हमें विरोध से निकलकर बोध और शोध का मार्ग दिखाया है. हमें आपसी प्रेम और भाईचारे के जोड़ से राम मंदिर की इन शिलाओं को जोड़ना है. हमें ध्यान रखना है जब जब मानवता ने राम को माना है, विकास हुआ है. जब जब हम भटके हैं, विनाश के रास्ते खुले हैं. हमें सभी की भावनाओं का ध्यान रखना है. हमें सबके साथ से, सबके विश्वास से सबका विकास करना है. अपने परिश्रम, अपनी संकल्प शक्ति से एक आत्मविश्वासी और आत्मनिर्भर भारत का निर्माण करना है.
The Bhumi Pujan ceremony started at sharp 12:30 yesterday afternoon and culminated at 12:45 p.m. Many saints, spiritual leaders and other leaders associated with the Ram Temple movement were present at the ceremony. Mahesh Bhagchandaka and Pavan Singhal from the family of late Ashok Singhal, former president of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, were Mukhya Yajman in the Bhumi Pujan function. The highest recoveries from coronavirus have been reported in the country within 24 hours. A total of 51,706 people affected with coronavirus have recovered in one day, which is the highest figure since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in India. This has resulted in further improvement in the recovery rate, which has reached 67.19% in the country. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry yesterday said a total of 12,82,215 people have recovered from coronavirus in the country so far. It said there has been a 63.8% increase in recovered cases in the last 14 days. The aggressive testing along with ramped-up hospital infrastructure has ensured the increasing recovery rate, which has improved from 63% to 67% in 2 weeks. The ministry said a total of 52,509 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 19,08,254. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 5,86,244. In a single day, 857 deaths have been reported, taking the nationwide toll to 39,795.
Nation's first ICMR-approved mobile RT-PCR COVID lab developed by Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru was inaugurated by Karnataka Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar yesterday. Packed with all the safety features, this unique lab is capable of producing accurate results within 4 hours. In a month, the mobile lab can conduct 9,000 tests. The lab can be utilized for testing H1N1, HCV, TB, HPV, HIV also. The mobile lab was handed over to Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences in Bengaluru yesterday, called a Mobile Infection Testing and Reporting Lab. MITR can be deployed in corona hotspots quickly. Another innovative project fructified in Bengaluru today when a bus stand was converted into 200-bed COVID care center. The bus stand used by Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation has been converted into a COVID care center with the help of Rotary Care Foundation and Nyonika Eye Trust. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that more than 10,59,000 people have benefited from Vande Bharat mission. In a tweet, Mr. Puri said more than 9,39,000 stranded Indians have returned to India through various means and more than 1,20,000 have flown out to various countries since 6th of May this year. He said 3,841 Indians have returned from various countries yesterday. Mr. Puri said government is continuously making efforts to reach out to citizens with a helping hand under Phase 5 of the mission. Recovery rate from COVID-19 in Delhi improved to 89.93%. Delhi government has said a total of 1,26,116 people affected with coronavirus have recovered in the city. In the past 24 hours, 890 people have recovered from COVID-19. Delhi government said a total of 1,076 new confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported in the national capital in one day, taking the total number of cases to 1,40,232. In a single day, 11 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 4,044. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the national capital is 10,072. A total of 16,785 people have been tested within 24 hours.
In Gujarat, 1,046 COVID-19 patients have been discharged from various hospitals after recovery during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate has further improved to 73.99%. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that a total of 49,405 patients have recovered in the state till date. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
According to official sources, 1,073 new cases have been reported in the state yesterday. Maximum 187 new cases reported from Surat, while Ahmedabad recorded 143 new cases. Total cases in the state have gone up to 66,777. Out of 14,815 active cases in the state, the conditions of 76 patients are serious and they are on ventilator support. 23 patients have lost their lives yesterday, taking the total death due to COVID-19 in the state up to 2,557. More than 8,79,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date, out of which 24,374 tests have been carried out yesterday. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has added 24 more areas in the micro-containment zone while removing 17 areas. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Madhya Pradesh, the state government has directed officials to arrange healthcare facilities for citizens so that they do not have to travel to other states for treatment. A campaign will also be launched to improve the condition of district hospitals, medical colleges and their affiliated hospitals to make the state self-reliant in health services.
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said during the review meeting of the corona infection in the state that such a system is needed to overcome the shortage of human and technical resources so that people can get complete treatment in the state itself. Meanwhile, Additional Chief Secretary Health Mohammad Suleiman informed that the recovery rate in Madhya Pradesh is continuously improving and at present the recovery rate has increased to 72.9%. 26,064 people have recovered from the disease so far and there are only 8,741 active cases in the state. At the same time, after the 652 new cases reported in the past 24 hours, the number of COVID-19 cases in Madhya Pradesh has increased to 35,734. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Chhattisgarh, the number of corona-positive cases has breached the 10,000 mark. The state reported 295 COVID-19 cases yesterday, taking the tally of confirmed cases in the state to 10,497. 2 persons succumbed to the disease. According to the State Health Department, Chhattisgarh has now 2,555 active cases, as 7,871 people have been discharged after recovery, while 71 have died so far. With a total of 3,480 cases so far, Raipur district tops the state tally.
In Karnataka, the COVID case load crossed 1.5 lakh as 5,619 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported in the state yesterday. 5,407 patients are cured and discharged from various hospitals in the state, and the total number of recovered patients has gone up to 74,679. More from our correspondent.
According to the official sources, 73,958 patients were currently taking treatment across the state. Among them, 633 patients are in ICU. 100 people lost their life due to corona, and the total death toll have increased to 2,804. 43,638 swab samples were tested in the state yesterday, and the total tests have gone up to 15,32,654. Among the new cases, Bengaluru city reported 1,848 and Ballari with 631. The recovery rate of the state is 49.31% and the mortality rate is 1.85%. Meanwhile, the Karnataka Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar inaugurated first of its kind and ICMR approved mobile COVID test lab in Bengaluru yesterday. R. Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Tamil Nadu, the standalone gyms have been permitted to function from the 10th of this month. A statement issued by the state government in Chennai yesterday said that those under the age of 50 will be permitted to visit the gyms. The standard operating procedures for the gyms for preventing the COVID-19 infection are expected to be issued soon. Details from our correspondent.
In Tamil Nadu, 3,374 pregnant mothers have been confirmed COVID-19 positive since the breakout of the pandemic. Most of them have returned home with their infants and the others are all stable under hospital care for their delivery. The State Health Minister Dr. C. Vijay Bhaskar said some of the mothers underwent cesarean operation while others had normal delivery. Talking to reporters yesterday in Chennai, he said an encouraging factor is that the mothers and their babies are now safe. Meanwhile, the state health workers have enumerated the expectant mothers and are doing the follow-up to ensure their safety. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
Participating in our live phone-in program on COVID-19, Dr. N.N. Mathur, Director of the Lady Hardinge Medical College, appealed to students to continue their daily routine to avoid depression during the COVID pandemic.
स्टूडेंट से मैं यही कहूंगा कि वो बिल्कुल निश्चिंत रहना चाहिए. एक तो स्टूडेंट ग्रुप जो है वो हेल्दी ग्रुप है. अगर संक्रमित भी हो जाता है तो उस संक्रमण से बाहर आने के पूरे चांसेस होते हैं. इसलिए स्टूडेंट्स ग्रुप को विश्वास के साथ अपनी पढ़ाई जारी रखनी चाहिए और बिल्कुल भी डिप्रेशन में नहीं जाना चाहिए.
In our series, Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Amarchand Bajaj, Senior Consultant at the Sitaram Bhartiya Institute of Science and Research in New Delhi, highlighted the importance of hygiene and how to maintain it to contain novel coronavirus.
जब तक हमारे पास इनकी ट्रीटमेंट वैक्सीन या मेडिसिन के रूप में ना निकले तब तक हमें जो प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स है वो फॉलो करने हैं. जहां जरूरत ना हो उसमें घर से बिल्कुल बाहर ना निकले, कोशिश करें कम से कम बाहर निकलना है. और जबकि निकलना भी पड़ा घर से बाहर तो कोशिश करें कि जहां आप 2 लोग खड़े हैं करीब 2 मीटर दूर खड़े रहें, नहीं तो कम से कम 1 मीटर दूर खड़े रहें.
Dr. Naresh Gupta of Lok Nayak Jaiprakash Narayan Hospital in Delhi said In most of the cases, the COVID-19 infections are self-limiting and very few patients are required to take admission in hospitals.
80% में तो ऐसी भी तकलीफ नहीं करते हैं या इतनी हल्की करते हैं कि लोग घर पे ही ठीक हो जाते हैं। 10-15% में उनको अस्पताल जाके कुछ दवाई दी जाती है और वो सेटल हो जाते हैं। 5% या उससे कम वाले हैं जो कि दाखिल होना पड़ता है।
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says construction of Ram Temple opens up several opportunities across sectors which will change economy of the region. Recovery rate of COVID-19 patients improves from 63 to 67% in 2 weeks. More than 10,59,000 people benefited from Vande Bharat mission, says Civil Aviation Minister. Manoj Sinha appointed as new Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir following the resignation of G.C. Murmu. Normal life disrupted in Mumbai and its surrounding areas due to heavy rainfall. Prime Minister assures all possible help to Maharashtra. And counting of votes for parliamentary elections in Sri Lanka begins. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
President Ram Nath Kovind has appointed Manoj Sinha as the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir. The President accepted the resignation of Girish Chandra Murmu as Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Murmu, a 1985 batch Gujarat cadre IAS officer, was appointed as the LG in October last year. Our correspondent, quoting sources, reports Mr. Murmu had sent his resignation to President Ram Nath Kovind. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has congratulated Manoj Sinha for being appointed as the new Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir. India has said China has no locus standi on Jammu and Kashmir and advised it to not comment on the internal affairs of other nations. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastav said this in response to a media query on Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson's recent comments on Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed sadness on the tragic hospital fire in Ahmedabad. In a tweet today, Mr. Modi expressed condolences to the bereaved families and prayed for the early recovery of injured persons. The Prime Minister spoke to Chief Minister of Gujarat, Vijay Rupani, and Mayor of Ahmedabad, Bijal Patel, regarding the situation. Mr. Modi said that the administration is providing all possible assistance to the affected.
In the run-up to the 74th Independence Day celebrations, we bring you today a special story about the initiatives for welfare of women. Women's safety is an integral part of NDA government's policy, governance and agenda. In the last 5 years, the nation has witnessed some path-breaking announcements that ensure the dignity and welfare of women. The Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill was passed by Parliament last year, which makes instant triple talaq in any form illegal and void. To providing a safe and secure growing environment to young girls, government introduced a law to severely punish the criminals from indulging in heinous crimes. With the launch and widespread implementation of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, now there is no need for women to venture into forests to get firewood for cooking. Awareness campaigns like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao have contributed towards saving the girl child, educating her and making her a self-sufficient citizen. Talking to AIR News, social activist and director of Center for Social Research, Ranjana Kumari said that financial empowerment of women is necessary for gender equality.
सरकार की तरफ से बहुत सारी योजनाएं महिलाओं के लिए अनाउंस की गई और बच्चियों के एम्पावरमेंट के लिए भी कुछ योजनाएं बनी, पर 4-5 योजनाएं ऐसी हैं जिनका असर दूरगामी है और बड़ा भी है थोड़ा बहुत, जिसमें कि बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, जिसका मूल मकसद था जो लिंग जांच हो रही थी उसको रोकना और साथ साथ में बच्चियों की पढ़ाई पर जोर देना। तो दोनों तरफ से थोड़ा तो असर उसका हुआ है और समाज में लड़कियों के प्रति थोड़ी चेतना तो बढ़ी है, लेकिन अभी बहुत लंबा रास्ता पार करने की जरूरत है।
The Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan is taking action on mission mode to provide employment to migrant workers who have returned to their native villages of 6 states. These states are Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. By the 6th week itself, a total of about 17 crore man-days employment has been provided and 13,240 crore rupees has been spent so far. A large number of structures have been created under the Abhiyan. These include 62,532 water conservation structures, 1.74 lakh rural houses, 14,872 cattle shed, 8,963 farm ponds and 1,222 community sanitary complex. A total of 564 Gram Panchayats have been provided internet connectivity and 16,124 candidates have been provided skill training through Krishi Vigyan Kendras.
West Bengal has plans to provide 100% tap connections to all the households in the state by 2024 under Jal Jeevan Mission. Out of 1.63 crore rural households in West Bengal, 2.19 lakh households have already got tap connections. The state is planning to provide tap connections to 55.6 lakh households in 2020-21. In 2019-20, 993 crore rupees of central funds was released to the states. During 2020-21, fund allocation has been increased to 1,610 crore rupees. As union government is working in tandem with states to achieve the goals of Jal Jeevan Mission within the time frame, focus is on retrofitting and augmentation of existing water supply systems to provide tap connections to remaining households. Out of a total of 41,357 villages in West Bengal, 22,155 villages already had piped water supply systems. Our correspondent reports, under Jal Jeevan Mission, women are empowered and are trained to work as frontline functionaries in carrying out water quality surveillance. The centre has informed the Supreme Court that it has accepted the Bihar government's recommendation for CBI investigation into the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for the centre, told the court that Bihar government's recommendation for CBI investigation in the case has been accepted. While hearing a plea by Bollywood actress Riya Chakraborty, who is seeking transfer of an FIR accusing her of abetting suicide of Rajput from Patna to Mumbai, a bench of Justice Rishikesh Roy observed that the truth behind the actor's death should come out. The Apex Court directed Mumbai Police to file status report on the probe conducted so far in the case. The court also asked Maharashtra, Bihar and Sushant Singh Rajput's father to file replies on Riya's plea seeking transfer of the case from Patna to Mumbai.
With the IMD issuing a warning of extreme rainfall over the next 24 hours for Konkan and central Maharashtra region, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has asked people to stay indoors and venture out only for essential work. Taking stock of the situation, Chief Minister asked the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai to coordinate with the police and railway authorities, health machinery and the National Disaster Response Force to ensure that citizens do not face any hardship. Widespread rains coupled with gusty winds across Maharashtra and Mumbai in particular threw life out of gear yesterday. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Mumbai received the highest rainfall of the season within just 12 hours yesterday, besides the highest ever wind speed. According to the IMD, 330 mm rainfall was recorded at Colaba Observatory, whereas 146 mm rainfall was recorded at Santa Cruz. Heavy rains damaged 3 cranes at the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Container Terminal. The heavy rains that have been lashing Navi Mumbai and adjoining areas have caused extensive damage to the D.Y. Patil Stadium in Nerul. 22 passengers who were stranded at Masjid railway station on Central Line have been rescued by the NDRF. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray in the wake of heavy rains and has assured all possible help from the centre. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Bihar, flood situation further deteriorated following breaching of 2 embankments in Muzaffarpur and Darbhanga. The ring bund of Kadani River in Muzaffarpur and the ring bund of Bagmati River in Kevati block of Darbhanga have been breached. Several villages of the 2 districts were flooded. Flood waters posing a threat to 3 railway sections of East Central Railway, Samastipur Darbhanga, Sitamarhi Darbhanga and Saharsa Mansi. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar made an aerial survey of flood-affected areas of the state yesterday. He instructed concerned authorities to make arrangements for corona tests on flood victims who are living in relief camps. About 67 lakh people of 16 districts spread over 1,165 panchayats are reeling under the impact of flood. Relief and rescue operations are on in full swing. 33 teams of NDRF and SDRF have been pressed into service. About 5 lakh people have been evacuated so far. Meanwhile, the Met Department has forecast heavy rains in catchment areas of various rivers in North Bihar and Nepal in the next 48 hours.
In Assam, indefinite curfew has been imposed at Telamara and Dhekiajuli police station area and Sonitpur district last night following a clash that occurred between two groups. Official sources said that the incident occurred when a motorcycle rally was taken out yesterday at Garudova area under Telamara police station. Several persons were injured in the clash. The vehicle of the district magistrate was also attacked when he went to the spot. Police resorted to blank firing to disperse the crowd. Additional forces have been deployed at the incident sites. In Sri Lanka, counting of votes for the parliamentary elections has begun at 77 counting centres across the country. The polling was held yesterday with around 71% voting. Over 7,450 candidates are in the fray for parliament seats and security arrangements are tight outside counting centres. Parliament was dissolved in early March, 6 months before its term ended, as President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was seeking clear majority in Parliament for his party. More details from our Colombo correspondent.
Sri Lankan Parliament is elected by preferential votes based on proportional representation, and parties pulling more than 5% votes in a district find representation in the legislative body. The party-wise vote percentage is expected to be declared by late evening, while voters' choice for preferential candidates will be known by tomorrow. Voters mark the party of choice along with 3 preferences of candidates on the ballot paper. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who became Prime Minister after victory of his brother Gotabaya at last November presidential elections, is confident of getting a majority at the elections. Prime Minister said last evening that he will create 2/3 majority in Parliament if his party fails to win 2/3 seats. Santosh Kumar for AIR News from Colombo.
India has extended line of credit worth $18 million to the government of Maldives for the expansion of fishing facilities at Maldives Industrial Fisheries Complex. The project envisages investment in fish collection and storage facilities and the setting up of a tuna cooked plant and fish meal plant. It is part of the $800 million line of credit offered by India with repayment tenor of 20 years and a 5-year moratorium. Indian High Commission in Malé said fishing is deeply connected to the Maldivian way of life and is a key driver of the economy through exports.
And now let's take a look at today's weather. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu was 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees Celsius. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees Celsius. The city will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 19 and 31 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 18 and 31 degrees Celsius. It will experience mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night.
In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Chandigarh will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. Minimum temperature in the city 29, maximum 35. The national capital Delhi may have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle.
And now our overview of today's newspapers. News related to Bhumi Pujan ceremony in Ayodhya for Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir dominates the front pages of dailies today. Ayodhya's tryst with destiny reads the headline in Hindustan Times. The Pioneer Rights Foundation laid to realize dream. August 15, August 5, PM draws parallel with struggle for freedom, writes the Indian Express. Over 40,000 COVID deaths in India now. Record 918 on Wednesday, reports the Times of India. The centre approves CBI probe into the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput. Truth must come out, says the Supreme Court headline to Statesman. Reporting that the Lieutenant General level talks between China and India on Sunday failed to make a breakthrough, the Tribune reports India snubs China, says won't pull back from Pangong Tso. J&K marks a year without 370 amid COVID, other curbs, writes Hindustan Times. Kashmir under security blanket on the anniversary of Article 370 withdrawal, says the Hindu. And finally, the Asian Age reports the toll from Beirut blast rises to 113 with at least 4,000 injured.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says construction of Ram Temple opens up several opportunities across sectors, which will change the economy of the region. Recovery rate of COVID-19 patients improves from 63 to 67% in 2 weeks. More than 10,59,000 people benefited from Vande Bharat mission, says Civil Aviation Minister. Manoj Sinha appointed as new Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir following resignation of GC Murmu. Normal life disrupted in Mumbai and its surrounding areas due to heavy rainfall. Prime Minister assures all possible help to Maharashtra. And counting of votes for parliamentary elections in Sri Lanka begins. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.com and News on Air app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.